Dialed in
to Bucks and Brews, you might hear something
you can use.
like tips on your cash or tips on the suds.
You're gonna want to
The
use
smarts of these
because
studs.
they know the brews.
And they know the Bucks, and they know they can't help the stubborn fucks.
So listen up, cause shit's not funny.
And save yourself some
Beer money, bucks,
and brews.
Bucks and
Bucks
and
brews.
brews.
Bucks and Brews.
Welcome back to Bucks and Brews. Nick,
David,
2 weeks in a row.
it's like a victory for us.
It is. Softball's over, so I mean that helps. Even though I hate it. What you drinking?
Sponsored by Break Room Therapy here at Kirkland Signature Sparkling Black Raspberry Flavored Water. So I think we said it a while ago. I have a medical procedure kind of coming up. Thursday, so 2 days from now, or like 36 hours. And they suggested that I don't drink beer and all the other fun things for a couple days beforehand. So I'm listening to the doctor to make sure I give it full effort. So I'm sorry to our listeners. Don't worry, I'll make up for it other ways.
After we won trivia Sunday night,
Yeah.
I got tore up at the house.
Oh, I was tore up at trivia.
So I'm also having a Kirkland sparkling water. I have a kiwi strawberry, and then I have a cherry Coke Zero. Because no more beer for me for a few days. I gotta let the liver heal.
Good for you.
Let's talk about something shitty first.
Yeah.
I wanted to dedicate the episode because I heard one of our longtime contributors, let's say, his brother Tom passed away. So David and Dan Seawick. So
we're truly sorry here from Bucks and Brews about your guys' loss. And really just such amazing brothers and people I've met in my life that I enjoy being around.
Yeah, great people, and I played ball with all three of them, and just wanted to kind of dedicate tonight's episode to them.
Yeah,
that's the
on a
sad shit.
On a better note, though, we do have a guest.
Love guest night.
Saying of course, David and I like to drink and watch TikTok, and of course, anybody that talks about money, we're gonna hit up and see if they want to come on here and get rich and famous. Both of those are going to come really, really slow when you are on Bucks and Brews, but we definitely try to help you get there.
We do.
So, tonight's guest, David, it's Wilson, right?
Yep. You got it.
I say, David, thanks so much for joining us. Why don't you tell us if you're drinking anything, let us know what you're drinking, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, would love to. Thanks for the invite on. I feel like I might not be getting the full Bucks and Brews experience, considering there's no brews over here. So
it is my fault. My body should stop shutting down. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if you could work on that for next time, that would be.
I got you. No worries.
I mean, I literally was going to have a beer or two tonight if you were, but once you said you couldn't drink, I'm like, yeah, I'm out.
Just say. I feel bad. I always feel bad when because this is my second time on the podcast not drinking, because I have medical things.
Yeah.
So, thanks for making me feel worse about my non-alcoholism. Way to go.
That's what our guests are for.
It's actually why I'm here, but it's the wise thing to do. So
yeah,
I can appreciate it, but a little bit of an intro on me. I share wisdom online with young people about money. That's my fun in my free time. I go under the name Money Coach Dave on TikTok, live stream most mornings and share semi-entertaining content that is mostly informational to a very small audience. But for the people that listen and take the advice, I hope it makes a difference in their life. But that's the extent of my content creation career at this point.
I think that's kind of near and dear to our heart, because that's kind of how we started doing a podcast.
Yeah.
We literally just hopped on during COVID and did a Zoom call and started talking money with each other because we couldn't get together.
Yeah.
And then we recorded it, and then here we are 4 years later.
Well, it's so weird because, right, I mean, your journey and my journey are completely different.
Yep, 100%.
And like, David, I know, sorry, did you say your age? You're like 20 something years old, right?
26.
Yeah.
I'm over the hump. Yep.
Just barely. I mean, right. I'm 35, which is, an old man to you. And then David,
I'm the old fuck.
90, right?
46.
46, right? But, so there's 20 years difference in those. And, when I was your age, which sounds old as shit to say, right? When I was 9 years younger, I was working so hard, so much. I didn't focus on any anything else, anybody else. I didn't, and I just assumed everybody else was doing the same thing I was doing, right? So I assumed we'd all wake up one day, just have a shitload of cash and go, boom, there it is, right? Like, but then like we slow down and we start talking, and David's like, no, God, no, like this is what, and start looking into research and finding out that like, you know, I'm way up here and everybody else is like catching up, and you know, I'm like, I've never had a credit card, things like that, and so it's like, man, I assume everybody makes the right decisions, and I still fault out of fault think that way, like especially
You know they don't. How many people have we had on here and we've talked to them
Thousands.
about money?
right. But
And they're like, yeah, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And we're like,
Wh-
why?
why?
Why would you do that?
Yep. So, what do you do for a profession?
For a day job, PM in the insurance industry, so employee benefits. That's what pays the bills, but the passion project is a lot
Yeah.
more fun, and it's really that professional career that I would say started the journey for me as well. Of what you said, like I was surprised where other people were, because I got into my first job, and you get a lot of 20 somethings making $65,000 a year, which to most is a good income, and you realize that these kids aren't getting by because they don't know where their money is going. They're not preparing for the future. And that's what lit the fire in me to say, all right, if we can teach these kids about a Roth IRA and how to live on a budget,
Yeah.
we're going to be printing millionaires as long as they take some simple advice at an early age.
So that's what we hope. Little quick background. So like David and I both coach high school sports, and being in this financial thing, like I have one kid who I handed him his graduation card, and I was like, hey, I expect all of this to go straight to your IRA. And he's like, I got you, coach. And I'm like, this is what we're talking about. Like, guys, and people think I'm joking. Like I sit and go, hey, go to your bank. I walk my kids through. I'm like, go to your bank, have your parents go with you if you're under 18. Like, this is how you're setting things up. This is what you're doing. When you get your first job, 50%, right? You live at home, you have no fucking bills. 50% of your money is going straight into savings. You're not doing anything with it. Yeah, I'm going to save it for a house. Good. 90% of your fucking money. Like, dude, like, you're not going to impress me if you know, I was like, I want you to spend 10%. Like, have fun, go out and take the girl for a, chicken sandwich at McDonald's, but like, save every penny, man.
When we hire my players,
Mhm.
we sit there and talk about retirement. And they're like, Coach, I'm 18 years old. What do I care about retirement? I'm
Right.
like, trust me, care about it.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to work when you're 60.
Yeah. So, and I think, so you're now, where do you find you do most of your stuff? TikTok or Instagram or YouTube, or what do you find you do most of your stuff?
Most of my stuff is on TikTok right now. That's where I've found the most traction going live, but I've been stably writing on LinkedIn of all places for the last 3 years. And that's where I've kind of gotten my chops from a writing standpoint, and then found it easy to transfer over to video format. But I've been on all platforms. Before the finance thing, I was a tech YouTuber in college. That's what got me started, but then realized the passion wasn't there. So switched over to something more meaningful, and that's teaching people about money.
Yeah. And on your TikTok, you shared your age, your net worth, your kind of the breakdown of how your net worth is. Would you mind sharing that here?
Yeah, I would love to. And I can go into the origin story, because it wasn't always that way. Like I grew up single parent household. My mom's a teacher, so she's been working 42 years, and I hate to say it, but my starting salary was $10,000 more than her. And that's like, oh gosh, I felt like I was rich making $65,000 a year, but in the grand scheme, I know it's not anything insane, but comparatively.
Yep.
But growing up, didn't know anything about money at all until I had to take, and whether you like him or not, this guy helps a lot of people, so I give him credit. Dave Ramsey. I had to take his high school course, and that literally changed the game for me. So I stuck to it like glue. I was actually helping my mom create a budget on the phone, canceling the cable and negotiating our internet prices. But long story short, that changed where I went to college. And
Okay.
because I went to college there, did some crazy things to ultimately get a debt-free degree. Senior year, through a YouTube comment, ended up in a documentary for Dave Ramsey called Borrowed Future, on the student loan epidemic, for how I went to school debt-free. And then since then have been living those principles, also supplemented my own knowledge. And now at 26, up until a week ago, making less than $100,000 a year. I'm now at a net worth of right around $250,000, with most of that being in tax advantage retirement accounts. So it's been a journey, and that's a simplified view, but it's been consistency over time, not an insane income, and just doing the basics over and over again.
Nice. What happened a week ago?
Got a raise.
Good for you.
Just barely nudged over. So
Yeah, say 6-figure. Welcome to the club. You're so $250,000, 26 years old, and it's tax advantage investments, which is huge. I guess, will you walk, because this is financial and I love this stuff, walk me through what tax advantage investments are and things, like what types of things are you investing in, and why you're doing it in tax advantage ways.
Yeah, so I call it the Trivium. That's what I've nicknamed it. The 401k, the IRA, and the HSA. Those are the three types of tax advantaged accounts that I currently have access to. So through my employer, I have the Roth 401k. So I've opted to use post-tax dollars because my taxable rate, at least what I believe now, is going to be lower than what I think it will be when I'm 65. So I get a 6% employer match on that. And then I'm maxing it out to the IRS limit of $23,000 a year. So that's the employer side. And then with the individual retirement account, the IRA, I also go Roth there for the same tax reasoning that I use for the Roth 401k. I've been maxing that out since my junior year of college. And then HSA, I'm not using it for medical expenses like the account is originally intended for. I'm paying out of pocket for those, leaving the money invested there so that it can grow tax deferred. And then I don't know what'll happen with my health. It's been good so far, but ideally get to 65.
I'll be honest with you. As much as you wanted to, and you're still, I hate guessing, but right. If your life changes, right? I was in your shoes. We had the HSA. My wife, so I married, my wife tried to like stop doing HSA contribution. I'm like, no, you will continue. And she learned this year why we did it, right? I mean, we went from, I don't know, $40,000 in HSA to, like, my wife got her eyes done. She got, my daughter had teeth. She's getting braces done. Yeah. I'm having surgery upon, like, literally, one account is completely drained and we have one other account. Now we're living paycheck to paycheck on HSA stuff. So it's like, hey, if they ask you to pay it up front, be like, nah, we'll pay you the $250 every, 2 weeks that we get. And so it's just like, hey, we'll make a payment type of thing. I don't want to, don't need to, but yeah. If you're in your shoes, you're healthy, you're doing the right things, not married, no kid to take care, no anything. There's a little difference. And it's great that you because I mean, your bills, when you get them, I'm assuming, right, it's less than $100 for hey, you got a prescription, that costs $2, or a shot that might have cost you $7, and you're like, I'll pay that instead of taking taxable chances of money. So
yeah,
there is a chance that the HSA might get used.
Yeah, that's what I assume. I assume, once kids, wife come into a picture, obviously childbirth or whichever is not inexpensive. So
it's
just getting more and more expensive.
And it's so weird because right, like I tell everybody, I was like, and you think a lot like me. You talk about like, oh, I'm gonna be healthy until I'm 65, right? And that's how, like, I'm like, man, there's not enough amount of money I can put away, because I know when I turn to like 65, the normal retirement, my ass is going to be in the hospital constantly. I'm going to need long-term care. I'm going to need all this. And I'm like, I'm going to be broke as shit.
Well, again, you never know what's going to happen. Look at me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, I was fine. And then I was in the hospital for a month. I damn near died. And now I have $15,000 worth of medical debt. And I work for the insurance company.
Oh, but if you built up your HSA for years and years and years, the problem is you max out years every year.
Because my wife's sick. So we're spending $13,000 every year in medical.
Yep.
And my HSA is sitting right now around $4,000.
It sucks. It just does. So, no, and I love the way you're thinking, because, there's people that think that they, their brains don't think that they're going to make more money later in life. And I mean, if you're investing, especially at your age, there's zero chances you're not going to make more money, right? If you keep doing it forever, it's proven over history that you will be making a heck of a lot more than what you're currently doing. You know, I started out as traditional, you know,
Mhm.
when I was like 18 through who knows. And then I don't know, somebody probably explained it to me like, hey, you should get a Roth. And I was like, hell's that? Oh, you pay taxes now. And I was like, you own some real estate? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, you're gonna be worth a couple $1,000,000. And I was like, yeah. They're like, yeah, you're dumb not to do it. And I was like, all right, I guess I'm gonna do it. And just, you know, hopped on the Roth train. And you know, at the time my paychecks, I was living off of $250 a week, right? Like everything else, I was trying to invest everything. You know, I live so cheap and so frugal. Now I live really expensive and fine beers and Kirkland waters, but say it's just
Hey, you
back
can
then,
afford
man.
a Costco membership, so that says something. You're
Alright.
you're a member of the club.
I'm gonna be honest about this. Okay, this is what pisses me off. When you get a wife, if maybe whatever, you might understand this. Okay, my wife has a Costco membership. My
Okay.
mother has a Costco membership because you're allowed 2 cards to pay for. I do not have. I pay for a Costco membership, but I do not have a Costco membership. Okay, I'm allowed to go eat hot dogs, but cannot buy food. So,
That $1.50 hot dog is still the best deal in town.
it's like all day, every day, baby. Yeah.
That
And
and
then-
the $10 pizza. You can't
Yeah.
go wrong.
Damn.
It's well, you can't go wrong because actually it's a much better pizza. But we have Little Caesars. I forget where you from.
I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, but originally from Wisconsin. So I'm
Oh, you know Little
yeah.
Caesars then,
Of course.
Wisconsin. But yeah, and so you know, $5.55. I don't know. That's pretty hard to beat that one too.
Still not great pizza.
But you got to eat it right away. It's got to
Yeah,
be fresh.
if it's fresh and hot, it's not bad. It's not bad. Here's the problem: it's not bad.
Right.
It's not good.
I agree.
So here's the deal: when my wife and I started dating,
Yeah,
she did not know what hot now was because she was from the other side of the state,
loser.
and I kept telling her, I'm like, back in the day, it was the greatest food because you could get a 39-cent burger, 39-cent fry, 39-cent drink.
Yep.
It tasted like shit, but it was so cheap you didn't care. And she goes, "You're not selling me why I should ever eat this food." And I went, "Oh,
Yeah.
kind of got a point."
So, all right, what are you trying to do? What is your main focus with viral? What the hell do you call viral stuff? This is how old I am. You know, TikTok and Instagram and
Social media and
social
stuff.
media. There you go. Thanks. What are you looking to do with that? How are you looking to grow it?
Yeah, the main mission is just the basic education because I realized that because I got the right information at the right time as an 18-year-old, it totally changed the financial trajectory of my life, which has ultimately allowed me to say I can be the person that I want to be without the financial pressures and thus go serve the world and make it a better place. So that's the main mission right now, is just getting more young people to get right with their money so that they can go and live the lives that they've called to live instead of being held back by whatever financial vice they may have, whether that be student loans, credit card debt, whichever. So ideally, if I could do it full time at some point, I would, but I'm certainly not there. And you get the trolls in the comments saying, "Oh, he has a video with 7.9 million views. He must be making thousands of dollars a month." But I think I couldn't even purchase a Little Caesars pizza with the amount of money that I've made on TikTok at
Really?
this
Okay.
point in time. So
So
TikTok does not pay well unless you get millions of views on many videos.
many videos. Yeah, I say I never dive into it because I never. I think if I did, I would just strive too hard to try to keep making that kind of a thing
Mhm.
happen, and I don't have the time to do it. And also, like you say, there's trolls and things like that. I would get banned constantly. I mean, right? Did you?
I've
I
got a
think, I
band.
think you said shit or something. We got banned. Like this is why we do Bucks and Brews because we can just tell people to go fuck themselves and love it, right? Like, but you know, I don't know. There's always a hater out there. There's always somebody that doesn't get it. And I want to go back real quick because you had mentioned something that's really important to me. This is something David and I fight about constantly. I actually don't mind Dave Ramsey.
Fucking hate Ramsey.
Right. I think, as you said, right, love him or hate him, I really think he does. He works for everybody as long as you follow this specific thing. Now, I think it's the small percentage of us that think higher, right? Like, hey, how can I actually get every value of every penny and everything? And that's where David's brain is, right? Like he's like, he credit card hacks, he does all of this crazy stuff. And sure, Dave Ramsey could be right on me leveraging real estate the way I do, and I could go broke as shit. But I also have other investments and things like that he wouldn't approve of either, and so it's like, but I really think if you follow what he says and what he does, you will be debt free. I mean,
Again, it's the wish.com of debt relief.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to make smart moves, but I also want to be educated about those moves. I don't want to sit there and go, well, you can't have any debt. That's fucking stupid. You can have debt. It's having the right types of debt.
yeah, I mean, but if you do it without any, it just keeps you from growing faster. But you had mentioned you're college debt free. Walk me through, because everybody, it's this huge epidemic going on right now of everybody being in college debt. How did you do it?
Oh, it's a fun question to answer because there's a lot of little side quests, I'll call them, that ultimately got me the greater goal. But when I was picking out schools, and I don't know where you guys are on the football fan spectrum. I assume you're Detroit Lions fans. Is that?
Oh God, yes.
Chicago Bears.
Okay.
Yes,
Fuck the Lions.
I'm a
If you say the
Packers
fucking
fan,
Packers,
so-
fucking
Seriously, the Packers.
fuck off, Bucks and Brews. This is say,
I'll just
it's
log
funny
off
because
now.
once he said, I'm originally from Wisconsin. I'm like,
Yeah,
fuck this
yeah.
guy. He's going to football. This guy's just trying to troll us right now.
Yeah. So I was going to go into enemy territory, as in where the Vikings are, the U of N, Minnesota. And that was like my dream school. And I was ready to swan dive into student loan debt, $22,000 a year, was going to finance it all. But I got that class and I decided, okay, I'm going to go to the most cost effective school that I can, which ended up being a private university in Wisconsin. And the sticker price on the degree was $158,000, but a large portion I made up by just merit scholarships and aid. So those are things that you get right off the bat based on ACT, GPA. But when I was actually in school, I ran a couple of my own businesses. So I bought and sold used lawnmowers. That was one of them. I flipped cell phones online out of my dorm room. I didn't settle for an on-campus job and instead worked a sales commission job. And through a combination of all those things, as well as being a resident assistant, which is you look over 42 students, you get free room and board. I ended up graduating debt-free, fully funded 6-month emergency fund, and the Roth IRA maxed out junior and senior year. But it was a combination and just not settling for the debt that kept me motivated to do it. And I just took debt off the table right away and said, I'm going to do this somehow, some way. And the mindset shift is what motivated me to do all those crazy things across the years to ultimately cross that finish line without anything holding me back.
Bravo. Like, just
this
plain
is so
simple.
smart.
Yeah.
So I've told you this before. My daughter wanted to go to Ferris,
Mhm.
but ended up doing community college for her associates. And there were many girls that she played ball with that came to her open house and they're like, oh, it's a smart way to do it. I spent way too much money my first 2-3 years because they'd go, Grand Valley and live on campus and it would cost them, $20,000 for a year. They graduated with student loan debt.
Mhm.
Much like David, my daughter graduated, no student loan debt.
Yeah. Well, and I just say, I think it's possible. David, would you agree that you think everybody could do college without student loan debt?
They could,
Yeah.
if they're willing to sacrifice. And that's the hard part, the delayed gratification that many struggle with and will say it's impossible. But as someone that did it, like, there's a million roads to get this. It just might not be the road that you want, but it's the most practical. And I graduated from a no-name D3 school. And my first job out of college was working with people that went to Harvard, Yale, Princeton, who were 6 figures in debt, but we were all getting paid the same to do the same jobs. So at the end of the day, I don't regret it at all, taking
Right.
a little different path.
I say, and how did you find a job that was hiring those qualified people versus somebody with a D3?
Yeah, so it's a pretty interesting company that I work for first out of school. It's called Epic Systems, and they're the EHR, predominant EHR for all hospitals.
Yeah, they are.
And yeah, they own like,
Know all about it.
Yeah.
yep, 70% probably patient population, but they hire on it's essentially a standardized test that you take to get through their initial screening process. And then from there, you have a very short on-site interview. But it was finding a place where the accolades didn't matter, and it was problem-solving skills. And what I found is, even if you go to a no-name school, but you can tell the story of your experience in a good way, that'll get you to the same spot as anyone who went to a very prestigious school. And in fact, I would argue that telling an employer that you went through school debt-free, which is arguably one of the biggest challenges for most students today, that is a greater signal of success, grit, whatever you want to call it, than just earning a 4-year education that you've taken out loans for.
Sure. Saying I because of how big it is, like I fight David all the time. I say, people can do it, right? And I think anybody that puts their mind to it and wants it bad enough can go do it, right? Like
I never say they can't do it.
but you say, hey, oh, it's predatory to get the
The
loan.
loans are predatory.
But we don't have to take loans though.
We don't,
Say-
but they are predatory loans.
Yes. But I say
It's the difference between getting a 30-year fixed and getting a 5-year arm.
5-year arm, you should get one.
No,
You want to refinance, David?
no.
I got you. David, do you sorry, there's two of you. Do you own or rent currently?
I rent, and that's usually the thing I get the most flack on is like, okay, you're in this financial position. Why haven't you bought a house yet? And I'll be honest, I think my current rent situation is pretty sweet. I mean, 2-bedroom apartment. We each have our own bathroom. I call that luxury, and it only costs me $835 a month. So at least when I've done the cost analysis of like the payoff time of equity built in a house versus me renting, like I would have to know that I'm in this area for about 5 years for that to make sense for me. And I just don't know that. There's too many unknown variables at this point to say if I'll be here for the next 5 years.
I mean, I wouldn't say buy a house with the way interest rates are right now, especially if you're renting at a decent rate.
And again, being probably the landlord, the real estate specialist here, somebody that uses the knowledge you have and your brain. I absolutely love this conversation, just because how smart you actually are in the way you think. I love the way you think. I want to be clear about that. Because right, you say, hey, if I'm not here 5 years, most people will always play the appreciation game, right? So when the economy is doing what it's supposedly doing, oh, if you buy a house now, you're just going to make money. That's not fucking true.
No, it's not.
The economy could take a crash at any little point. We have no idea when it's going to happen. Rates have gone up. There's always talks about it going down, and that's why people never buy, right? Because it's going to go down, and then now it's getting to the top, and it was going up, and it's going to keep going, and then houses will get cheaper, and the same thing that Scotty says, right? Like, hey, when are you going to buy? Right now, when are you going to sell in 30 years or whenever? Right? And it's not happening tomorrow. So don't chase appreciation, right? Unless you're flipping a house, then chase the hope of appreciation.
Right.
Like chase what it's going to sell for and hope appreciation happens, right? I say 830, and so you're paying 830 or 850, whatever it was, for a 2-bedroom. So you have 1 bedroom, you have your own bathroom, you have separate space. And if you were to look at a house currently, and that's now, are you paying utilities on top of that, or
Yeah.
is that included? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So you're paying the same as a normal house would do. Mortgage calculator. So for $850 payment, taxes, insurance included, I don't know, 100 and
I bet you it's around 120,000 for the loan amount.
it's like Yeah, without insurance, right? And we're doing 7.5% is 769. Now, if you're adding, that's without, this is just principal and interest. So now if you're adding taxes and insurance, so let's say you live somewhere where it's super cheap, you'll get away with $100 a month for, so
Maybe.
$1,200 for a year for taxes. Insurance is going to cost you. Insurance is up everywhere. We just had the episode about it, but
Let's
like
say 6.
so okay, so $50. I mean, so still, even at $110,000 house, that puts you at basically a $900 roughly. And I'm giving you so much, so much, right?
Yeah.
And sure, you're building equity, but finding $110,000 house that is you're happy with compared to, here you don't have to worry about a furnace, you don't have to worry. CapExes is what we call these things, right? You don't have to worry about roof. You don't have to worry about water heater. $110,000 house. I'm going to buy it all day, every day. I'm happier than shit to buy it.
Yep.
I'm happy to take on the risk of that water heater. Why? Because I'm going to hold it for 50 years. I'm happy to deal with that roof because I'm going to hold it for 50 years. That furnace, again, 50, like, hey.
Yeah, but if you were looking at this for a 2 to 3 year investment, you would never do this.
No, right? I mean, I'd flip it and get rid of it and go on. Somebody else's
Right.
problem. That's going to
Right.
deal with it. But, so no, good for you. And it's funny because everybody's like, why don't you want everybody to buy a house? And I was like, look, if you know you're going to be in an area for a long period of time, if you know this is where you're set, if you know everything about yourself, if you were to sit here and tell me, David, that you're not going to look for a different job, you're never getting married, you're or you're, hey, I'm engaged and I'm getting married and we want this 5-bedroom, 12-bathroom house, with this lake. Honestly, I'd just tell you to go fucking buy the thing, right? Like, but if you're saying, hey, I have no idea where I want to be, this is called a renter, right?
Yeah.
And you're not from the area, so you can't live at. I always tell you to live at home. I never tell anybody to rent. If you can live at home, do that. The next thing, split like you're doing. It sounds like splitting a place, and then I never tell anybody to actually live alone, which is something I never really do.
It's funny because
Even with Caitlin, I told her don't live alone.
yeah, and she had a roommate for a while.
Say
It's funny because you'll get haters out there that are like, well, I got to try and find a way to knock you down. Well, you're a renter, so that's going to knock you down. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. Everybody has a different situation.
Yeah.
You have to do what's best for your situation. We had a question once, is it better to pay off your mortgage early or is it better to invest that money?
Yeah.
Well, for most people, it's better to invest that money. You're going to make more. My rate is 2.75%.
Yep.
I'm going to make more than that if I invest extra money that I'm throwing into my mortgage. The problem is I know what I am as an investor. And right now, the goal for me is get that house paid off as quickly as possible. So I don't have to worry about paying $800 a month.
Nope.
Or whatever it is.
So
Yeah. And the wrench in my search for housing is that I'm in one of the most affluent areas of Tennessee. So $100,000, I could maybe get a plot of land like 10 by 10 and then throw a shed on it from Home Depot.
Mhm.
And that might be the $110,000 house. But everything compared to where I grew up in small town Wisconsin, I mean, you can buy a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom house there for a fifth of the price of what it costs here.
oh gosh, yes. And let's say, and your area is just, it's different. Say Tennessee literally has, it's so weird. I've been down there a few times, and it's like one road has $50,000 houses, and literally the backdoor neighbor is this, some country singer's $5 fucking billion mansion with a helipad sitting out. And you're just like, what do you? Like, I'm looking at a trailer worth 50 and 50 million. It's crazy to me. Your area over there. So I'd hate to be an appraiser in your area, unless I was doing the cookie cutter homes, right? So what do you try to teach people? If you were to teach us, what would it look like?
Yeah, I think the essentials come down, and some of this is derived from Dave, but what it boils down to is live on less than you make, save for emergencies, invest in the future.
Yeah.
That's personal finance in a nutshell, but most people can't get the live on less than you make, so they don't have the margin to save, and then they don't know enough to invest in the future. So the budget is what I see as the foundational spot to just getting margin in someone's life.
What's the first thing we say when somebody comes to us?
Budget. What's your budget look like?
Yeah.
So,
Well, I don't really have one.
yeah,
That's
there's
the
your problem.
problem.
Let's say ding, 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 ding. We'll get you started right there. One of my favorite things I called somebody out. They're like, "Oh, I don't want to go into more debt," because we were talking about investing into the future. And I was like, "Look, you know what? Go put 10% into your 401k right now." Oh, I can't afford that. And I was like, "Well, you can't afford what you have now, so you might as well just guarantee that you have fucking retirement. So just go put 10% in, and you'll thank me in years and years later." I was like, "Just keep fucking going in the debt until you learn to change and budget. But just right now, guarantee your future." And they're like, "Well, I'm not doing that." And I was like, "I know this won't work out, but like if you did it, you'd thank me, right?" Like I've been getting into this I've been showing everybody Betterment because it's just doing really well for me right now. And I'm like, "Look, put 25 a week for my kid, and it's been 8.5 years. And I don't see the money. Like I never feel it. I never have done anything." And
Yeah,
it's
because you've forgotten about it.
right. It's like 20-some thousand dollars. I'm just like, Jesus, man. Like, and because 8.5 years, yes, it's a long, short period. It's a long time. And the fact that, when I first did it, I look at it every day going, oh, it's 25. Oh, it's 24.07. Oh, 25.83. Like the next week, it's like, oh, I have $50 there. Now, literally 8 years later, and I don't intend to use this for another 50 years. Someday
You don't intend to use it.
Yeah.
She'll use it.
No, she's not going to use it. But right, she'll have enough to buy me out of my own business. I'm saving up money of mine to buy my own business out.
What if she doesn't want to do that?
Yeah, that's her choice, but she'll get part of the money. So, but no, and what do you? So do you have we looked at your page a little bit, and you have a budgeting tool
Yes.
or a spreadsheet and all that. So how did you find that? How did you create it? And how is it set up, right? If you were
Yeah.
to teach somebody to budget, how would that look?
And you would think as a guy that works in insurance, I'd be this Excel wizard. And admittedly, I know some, but that budgeting spreadsheet is so simplistic. Essentially, it behaves like an envelope style budgeting system, but just in a visual way. And what I mean by that, for those that don't know, envelope style budgeting is it's a form of zero-based budgeting where when you get your paycheck, you assign it to a different category. So for mine, my big ones are like giving, housing, savings, food, whatever. And when I get a paycheck, I credit each one of those line items with an amount from my paycheck. And then as I go about the week, I pull from those individual buckets. And it's worked for me. Some people like more detailed with categorizing their transactions. And there's tools out there like Monarch, Every Dollar, whichever that do that. But I've always liked the Excel just for flexibility. And there's something about keeping your receipts and having to input them that provides a lot of transparency into where your money is going versus it automatically being categorized. And I think that's why it's worked for me. Because if I see, oh my goodness, I just spent $2,000 on a gaming computer and that cleared out my personal spending bucket pretty much. I've realized now, okay, I shouldn't be buying any fun tech in the near future
Right.
because I've made a big purchase. But that's usually how my spending goes. Is I really don't care about the little things. I'm not very materialistic, but if it's something shiny that is tech related, I'm probably going to ball out on it and then not spend on like new clothes. So I'll wear my clothes from 8th grade, but I'll have a computer that's worth more than my car.
Yeah. I know nothing about technology. I
We know.
bought a brand new computer, a brand new
We know.
used computer. And so that's the newest thing of tech I have. Still can't use it, but you say doing the receipts. I used to own a graphics company and I still kind of do. I don't know where I stand on it. So I have all the stuff, but I've always wanted to make, I could do it. I want to make a shirt that just says, yes, I need my receipt. And I understand that nobody else in this world will understand that shirt, but it's like, man, I forget my accounting constantly. I suck at this, but like, I really want a shirt that just says, yes, I need my receipt. And people are going to go, huh, that's the dumbest shirt I've ever seen. And be like, yep, it is
So
for you.
to tell you what type of person Nick is, David, he is the oldest young man in the world because on the first of every month, he goes into the bank with cash and
Love it.
pays on all of his mortgages,
That's
all
awesome.
of them.
Let's say Dave Ramsey system, baby. Cash is king.
Yeah.
It's-
It-
yeah.
I remember I mentioned the lawnmower thing, but that was all cash. So imagine a 20-year-old walking into a bank with $6,000 in cash, and there you get some weird looks. Even if you carry over $100 in cash in your wallet these days, it's like, oh, you have cash to pay for something at the bar or wherever, and people are just kind of floored that that's still a thing.
Yeah.
It saves money though. Yeah, psychology says you spend less if you pay cash.
Psychology is
100%.
wrong with me. It is completely. If I have cash, it's gone.
You don't have
It's
credit
gone.
cards.
I don't. But
So
look,
how do you know?
a debit card? I have a debit card, and so like I track everything because I'm constantly on my. But like, I mean, if I pull out my wad of cash that I have sitting, like it is literally cash receipt, like it just looks like hell. Like this is great. You know, you say $100, like I have, I don't know, 100 and something dollars, but I have business cards, receipt. Like, this is my wallet here, and I don't know if you can see that on there, but like, yeah, I don't know, my personal business card, it's just insane to me. But like, I'll spend that cash, no questions asked. It is not in my accounting. It is not called for. It is just gone.
See, I don't use cash because cash costs me money.
No,
Yeah.
because you
Because I get rewards.
cards.
Yeah. I get cash back on my credit card. So if I can use a credit card, I'm using the damn credit card. I pay them off every month.
Yes, it's-
But 1.5% to 2%, yeah, I want that.
well, and it works. I mean, and that works for you.
Well, yeah, I make probably $2,500 a year on rewards.
it is good. I mean, it's good money. It just is a whole extra step, and
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I know my time is worth so much.
I have time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Right.
just take a few extra minutes from here or there and
Yep.
copy some shit down.
So David, how many people of your friends are doing the same thing that you're doing currently?
There is a stark contrast, but the ones that do it similarly. So most of my friends have some money philosophy, whether it's exactly the same, no. But for the most part, they're living below their means. They've gotten a good loan on a solid piece of property. They've gotten married. They have a huge emergency fund. But then there's others that don't listen or haven't listened and are starting to turn because ages 22 to 24, you don't really notice the difference in wealth. But now 25, 26, compounding has started working in my favor. Jobs and an emergency fund. If employment gets turbulent, I'm not worried. They are.
Yeah.
So I would say the ones that have held out are starting to see the value in a solid financial foundation. And the ones that have been on the journey with me are starting to reap the benefits of being consistent and living modestly in the early years of their life. So once they get to the messy middle of the 30s, 40s, they're going to be fine no matter what hits them.
Yeah. And that's it's guaranteed, right? I mean, I'm personal living proof of it, right? I've had this conversation quite a bit lately with people. It was like, hey, Nick, why are you drinking so much now? And why is it you want to drink? And why are you drinking on Tuesday? And it's like, my answer is because I fucking can, right? And I tell them, I was like, look, when you were 22, you were out at the bar, right? Like you'd call me and, hey, you want to hang out? And I'd say no, or I'd show up, but then I'd leave. I was like, but I was so focused on building my business. I did it for, 10 years of nonstop. Like it was one thing,
Hustling.
it was one thing you and I had talked about, like, not, we didn't take vacation. My wife and I didn't take a vacation for 5 or 7 years of marriage, right? Like an actual vacation. And like, sure, we'd go away for a quick weekend.
20.
Yeah.
We
like,
took one in 20 years.
right. Like, and so it was like, and then that, and then now it's like, okay, I wake up one morning, I retire. I just kind of have like my life figured out. And I'm like, yes, because now all of a sudden my life has slowed down. Now I'm at this point of, oh, I have it, right? Like, you know, I wanted to ask you, because you're pretty open. So what is your emergency fund look like? How many months? You don't have to say the number if you don't want, but like, what does it include? And what are you covering for your 6 month or for, not, is it 3 months, 6 months, a year? What does your emergency fund look like and how's it structured?
Yeah, the dollar amount is 16,000. That's how much is in my
Okay.
emergency fund right now, which if I live cheap, which I can, that
Yeah.
would hypothetically last me almost a year of essential expenses. But I mean, just paying rent, utilities, and then having minimal money for food and medical expenses if need be. But I also have an amount above and beyond, which I call it the opportunity fund at this point, whether that be getting married, buying a new truck, or saying, I'm going to go off and do my own thing. I have money there that I can utilize for that. But even if I were to cut it down and had to lessen the amount that I've sitting in emergency fund right now, I would stick with the 6 month. And that's, I know how my brain works, and 6 months gives me a fair amount of peace. Some people argue, well, why don't you run 3 months, whichever, but I'm okay at 6 months, and I'll pay for it in the lack of investments for the sake of my own mental sanity.
And that's exactly what we were talking about. Like, do we invest or do we pay off our house? And it's mental sanity. Like, I am the same way, right? I have a 6 month reserve for everything that I own, and it blows some people's mind. Like, I kind of hinted towards how much cash I had at one point. Like, I have 6 months worth of every payment that I have to make on all of the properties I have, and it's a substantial amount of money. And I always have that sitting around. And people are like, oh, why? And I was like, because if every tenant unionizes, and if everything that you hear on Fox News becomes a fucking reality,
Let's hope so.
I'm set for 6 months, right? Like, and then just like you, it's like, hey, I have extra. And when that extra hits to me being able to buy a house, I go buy a house. And then when I don't need to, like, if I go buy a house and something happens and I get below that 6 month mark, let's just say, hey, I buy a house and rental property over here needs a furnace or something. Like, my whole life still stops. People don't understand that.
So pandemic hits.
Yeah,
How many people did you evict?
none.
Did you have people that had issues with making rent?
I did.
And what did you tell them? Piss off, get out?
No. So I worked with the couple that had some issues, took my payments over a little bit of time, let them figure out all their stuff, tried to work on figuring out how to file for the government assistance stuff. And yeah, just, say, hey, let's work together. Let's figure this out while it's going to happen. Right. Cause I mean, the government did a good enough job at making things for my life kind of a
Right.
thing. And I got fortunate in certain ways. I don't know. I didn't have tenants that just wanted to be like, oh, well, we're not paying because we're not getting, we live in the Midwest here, right? When you're getting $900 for a paycheck versus your normal 300, my tenants respected me enough to pay me rent and things like that. So, and I want to say, like, I was very clear, like, hey, it's still due, it's still this, right? There's no,
Well, I would say in your
right?
in your landlord history, that's probably the most turbulent time.
God, yes.
Because I mean, you didn't own properties during the crash in 07.
No,
08.
I bought in 10,
Right.
right? Like,
So I mean, when you look back at it, that was the most turbulent time you had, and you weathered that storm
Very-
because of the financial knowledge that you have and where you're willing to put, your finances. I mean, you have 6 months
Yeah.
for every property just in case something
just in case that happens.
strange happens.
So,
David has 16,000 just in case something crazy happens.
Yep.
And I mean, if you don't have access to those things, you're screwed.
you make bad decisions quickly.
Mhm.
You make, you're the person that goes out and takes the cash advance loans, right?
Right.
Or these
Ugh.
infomercials.
Yeah,
that say-
payday loans all the time.
Yeah, and because why? Because your landlord's being a dick and needs it right here, right now, or whatever it is. Like, I love fucking with landlords because we're all assholes now. But right, like, if you're in a situation where you're forced to make a decision, you haven't lived your life to make smart decisions to this point. So what's the chances of you actually making the right decision
Mhm.
at this moment? Right. And that's how I try to explain to people all the time. Like, this is why you need security, right? If you're not making a smart financial decision, when the time comes for you to do something, you're not going to make the right financial decision because you're not used to practicing it, right? Practice makes perfect, and we're trying to be perfect at this world, right? Like, I'll never hit it, but I want to be as close to it as possible.
Well, I mean, finances is like everything else, except most things that you try to learn don't have that stigma on, we don't talk about these things. You want to learn how to build a house.
Yep.
Nobody's going to sit there and go, oh, I really don't want to talk to you about that.
Hey.
But if you want to learn how to budget, a lot of people are, yeah, I don't really want to talk about my budget, because there's some stigma with, you're almost looked down upon because you're an idiot. You don't already know this stuff, but who the hell's teaching it, honestly?
Yeah. I'll just say it surprised me that he said that he had Dave Ramsey in high school.
Yeah.
I'm glad that there's at least some financial stuff out there. Like, I don't care where you think, like, as long as they're teaching something and we know that this works, man. I've met one person that it's impacted and it's done well. So no matter what, in my eyes, Dave Ramsey is successful because it's impacted one life.
Well,
and
again,
you're looking
I
at it.
can't stand Ramsey,
Yeah.
but we've said it before, it works.
Oh,
So if they're teaching that to people, at least they have some kind of knowledge.
and then
you have to have some kind of knowledge.
and then you can grow off of that. I happen to say, we say it all the time, I love the money guys, right? I think those guys are just smart as shit, man. Like,
I'm friends with them. They're right down the road.
are you really? Yeah,
Actually,
say,
yeah. Brian and Bo.
yeah, I'm not 100% positive we could be best friends, kind of a thing. They're Tennessee people, but I say, it's just, it's different. They're smart guys, man, just so freaking smart.
Yeah.
The only thing that bothers me is, that they're like, the way they talk and the way they're doing things and what they're doing, they're not they're choosing to continue to work to grow money for this and that, but like, I know they could be retired just like I am right now and go live an amazing, better life, right? And it's what you choose, but
But again, as much as you're retired, it's not like you don't work.
I mean, right? I still have a job. I still have to do things at certain times. and stuff
Again,
like that.
I work from home.
right.
Okay.
You're retired.
I enjoy what I do for the most part. I
Yeah.
mean, I deal with people, which isn't great, but beyond that, I work from home with my cats. I can't really complain. If I need to get out, like, I got to get out early for that viewing on Friday.
Yeah.
I literally sent a message, have a viewing on Friday. I'll be flexing out hours. I'll be gone by noon. And they're like, cool.
Yep.
They don't care because they know all the work's getting done. I can do that job until I retire at 65 if I want. Do I want to? Probably not. But I also don't see myself leaving it anytime soon because I work from home with my cats. I enjoy, for the most part, what I do. I enjoy the people I work with. There's no reason to upset that.
Being on a boat's a hell of a lot more fun.
You're not wrong.
So David, you said those guys live not too far from you then.
Yeah.
And you haven't gone to work for them yet?
No, I have not.
Come on, man.
I know. It's
let's
the
say-
great. Well, Ramsey's right down the road too, but
Yeah, I say
You know.
that one. I don't know how you stand. That one just seems way too much political for me. And if you line up perfectly with him, that's fine. But like the whole, you can't, no premarital stuff, no this. Like, I feel like he controls part of my life. And granted, being my own boss, it's like, man, I don't want anybody to have like any control. Like, sure, you can tell me to show up at 9 to 5, but that's all you get to tell me, right? Like, I have to punch in and punch out. So, and I looked into the Ramsey thing, but yeah, it's kind of different for me. So, I think you have a lot. Gosh, I didn't realize that both of them were right there. That's crazy. There's a lot of financial stuff right there.
yeah, it's the dynamic duo there, the Money Guy show and then the Ramsey show, and both do good work. But if you're someone like me that's trying to do a personal brand,
Yep.
like, you don't get brought in to make a new path. You're helping build someone else's, which for the people that have those skills, great, do that. But for me, I just know that I would have too much want to try and craft my own content or do my own thing, that just the long term there would be a fork in the road. And I don't know. I work the normal job. I do this on the side. It's been fine and keep going.
What's so you said the number one question is, do you rent or do you own? What are some of the big financial questions you get asked? And you said you kind of do this towards younger people. I mean, granted, we're both older than you when we found you on TikTok. Um, what are you finding that younger people are asking you these questions? Like, what kind of questions are they asking?
Yeah, most of them are just around account structure because I post my account types and they don't understand the different types of retirement accounts and the rules associated with those. But I find in addition to those, just educating people on interest rates and understanding interest working for them and interest working against them. I can think of multiple instances where I've been helping someone develop a debt snowball or debt avalanche. We can get into which you think is best. And they just don't realize that there's a huge difference between a credit card that's charging you a 29% interest rate and your car loan, which is 7% interest rate. And while they may be doing the right thing of trying to pay extra on the car loan, it's like, you should probably go to this credit card that is going to outpace your ability to gain money in an investment 4 times over at least. So it's simple things like that, just things that we take for granted when looking at our finances. Most people don't know as common knowledge, when in reality, most of what you need to know about personal finance could be written on a note card and takes an 8th grade education to understand and do good at.
It's crazy how I say it all the time. It's crazy how easy money is,
Mhm.
right? It's just the actual doing it part, right? And the hardest part for me is reading the paperwork that my HR department wants me to do to figure out what percentage I want to put in there, right?
Right.
But like, otherwise, just for the rest of my life, it's just kind of done. Like, I never have to touch it, never have to do anything. And then the other hardest part is when I retire, figuring out how I actually have to get that money back out to me.
Well, again, at my job,
Yeah.
there are 2 former players that work for the same company.
Oh yeah,
And you know who manages their 403Bs?
you.
Yeah. 2 of my other coworkers that I'm pretty close to, you know who manage their 403Bs?
You.
When it's time to rebalance accounts, and I mean, we do the automatic thing, but I'm always looking at the accounts going, yeah, let's get out of this fund. Let's jump to this one instead. I will send directions. All right, this is what we're doing. Go do this.
Yeah.
And mind you, none of them have any idea what they're doing. I still have to call them and walk them through the entire thing. But they at least have somebody they can go to. You have to find those people in your life, because if you don't have anybody to learn from. Now they use me as a crutch. It's fine.
Yeah.
What they should be doing is learning what I'm showing them, so that they don't have to rely on me to be available for that phone call going, okay, how do I change all of this?
Yeah.
Because we're not always available.
When you retire, though, you're not going to be doing it.
No.
It's like, I don't know. I don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Just with the benefit side of things too, it's crazy. I think the stat is around 20% of people that are offered an employer match on their 401k aren't even contributing enough to get it.
That's
So we have-
insane to me.
We tell
Yeah.
everybody to max it out.
It's like
I-
leaving money on the table.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Let's say the
It's
worst.
free money.
Yes. The worst thing you could do is not at least get that match, right? Like, you don't have to be a superstar and do, the 23,000 that you're doing or whatever, right? Like, start small, at least get that match, baby. Like,
I get 2% matched if I put in 4.
Yep.
I think I put in 8, because I split it between the 403B and the 403B Roth.
Okay.
But then I add to all my other retirement accounts.
Yep.
I would have more money if I wasn't adding to all my retirement accounts. I could probably pay off the medical debt quicker too, but that's no interest, so it can sit there for a while. I'll just make minimum payments, whatever.
Penny at a time, baby.
You better believe it.
Penny at a time.
David, we are so cheap that Nick once had a dentist bill for $85.
Yeah.
He called them and said, what will you do if I pay this in full? And they said, you'll pay $85. He goes, no, I want you to knock some money off. And they're like, yeah, we're not going to do that. He's like, all right, then I'm going to pay you a penny a month for the next however many months it takes to pay. And they go, are you serious? And he goes, yep. And they cut $5 off the bill. He paid it right there.
You're a man after my own heart there, because I got orthodontics later in life, and I went to 5 orthodontic consults with x-rays and MRIs so that I could pit their quotes against each other,
Yeah.
and ended up knocking like $1,500 off there. And then the medical, that I had some surgeries, and ended up through a weird set of circumstances befriending the doctor that did my surgery, who then gave me like a 50% discount on the cash that
Oh,
was
geez.
paid for that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's great.
Yeah. My daughter's doing the orthodontic thing right now. And so they're like giving us a spiel, and they're like, all right, you can do, $300 a fucking week or whatever, a month or whatever. And I'm like, I don't have time for this shit. All right, how much? And they're like, we'll get to the cash discount. And I was like, that's the one. And it's like a 25% discount. And I was like, take my money, take it right now. Like 25%. I can't fucking out earn that, right? Like, say that. I mean, there's a minute chance that I could, but I'm not taking that risk,
Right.
baby. Like, this is a guaranteed win. He went to 5 different places.
That's
to get
perfect.
all these things. I
Yep.
love it, dude. He's like, yep, I got time to get my mouth all measured up.
Nick and I will
Well-
sit there and haggle over medical bills because they're always negotiable.
Oh gosh, yes, dude. Well, because I mean, we talk about it, like how many medical bills go uncollected. So if they get to collect any bit, they're happier than shit, right? So here, I'm gonna give you a percentage of it, and it's still more than you would ever get normally.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and the discomfort you feel from that 10-minute conversation can net you hundreds of dollars. So
Mhm.
I always think of the negotiating thing as in terms of hourly rate. It's like, okay, I'm willing to be uncomfortable in an orthodontist office for 5 extra hours to save $1,500. That's netting me $300 an hour, which I don't make right now. So I'm okay doing it, and will continue to do that
Yep.
until it makes sense for me not to.
so until you're making $600 an hour.
I think
sick.
I think one of the things I learned early on, working a corporate job, was how people don't pay attention to the dumb shit they do. So they would go out to eat every day at work,
Mhm.
and they'd always say, "Hey, you want to go get something from?" No, I don't. Thanks. Well, why do you never get any food with us? Because I
Bro-
don't need to pay that money. I can bring a sandwich. The sandwich can cost me 75 cents. I'm great, thanks.
Yep.
And so many people, they just didn't get it, and they would talk about their money issues all the time. Now, I was dead ass broke, so I had no money. So I had money problems too, but I wasn't, running to grab Chinese at $10.
Oh, I was. Let's say.
Okay, money bags.
Oh, I told you, there'd be probably once a week. Yeah, at least we'd get food, right? Whether it was the Chinese restaurant, whether it was a couple slices of pizza, or some sandwiches. Yeah, I mean and we would just once a week. I'm throwing that down, and
The first 9 years I worked in the office, if I got food 9 times,
yeah,
it
'cause the
would have been a
company-
lot.
It's because the company paid for it.
Oh no, sometimes they did pay for stuff. I was fine with that. If you're buying, I'll eat.
Oh man, I want Qdoba. I have a free one, just to let everybody know. So I'm hoping the Qdoba starts to sponsor us. I wish Anheuser-Busch would, but they're just they're
not.
They're not sponsoring me. It's been 4 years now.
I mean, we got Grand Rapids Brewing.
We did.
Too bad they closed.
So
Well, if you're going for like a budget friendly beer, I feel like you have to go for Hams. Like, it's arguably cheaper than water, and it comes from the land of sky blue waters. So
I
Hams,
actually
Old
drink.
Style, and Pabst.
Yep. Oh gosh, all beers after my heart. So from Michigan, we have a 10-cent deposit,
Mhm.
and I can buy a 30 rack of hams for 13 out the door. It's perfect. Yep.
And then you get $3 back.
Yep. Oh no, not me.
Yeah,
I mean,
you don't
normal,
back.
people, normal people do. But yeah, no, I used to drink hams. Back everybody started drinking all my PBR, and so then I switched to hams, and everybody's like, "Oh, this isn't great." And I was like, "Got to be a man to drink some hams." And hey, I'm paying $13 for a 30 rack. I'm the happiest man out there.
It's like drinking water.
No, it had like a bitterness to it. It was good. It's way better than water. I just say, I don't know, not better than this Kirkland sparkling brand water. Say,
Waiting on that Costco.
waiting on that, dude. If we get a
Money.
Costco membership, bro, like I'm all about this. David. I gotta start figuring out how to get us sponsored by some big companies. Okay, like I'm hoping, I'm hoping Costco like every Sunday sends us the samples of what they're going to be sampling out, right? Here's some chicken. Thanks, boys. Like, and every week we're just going to get on here and have our own Costco walkthrough. So
that is my optimal life, getting sponsored for all the things that I use. And like right now, I can't share the full details of it yet, but I have partnered with a company to actually get my car wrapped with their advertising.
Really?
So that I can hopefully make money while driving. But if it's ad space, and I'm a promoter, so I would wear the same t-shirt
every day
365 if the t-shirt was free or eat the same food.
I'm almost always in Bucks and Brews or break room therapy because it's advertising. I'm walking around as an advertisement.
Yep. And I just wear a plain t-shirt
all the
time. Gosh, how great it would be to be sponsored by Charmin, right? Like Ultra Soft. I'm okay with this. I love it. When you're old like us, you start talking about toilet paper and what feels good, and Charmin Ultra Soft, that's the way to go. Also, so that Costco. All right, so send me that link, not the one you have, but like what company you can go to get your car wrapped, because
Nick needs his car wrapped.
I'm getting my car sponsored, baby. It's gonna be great. But David, any questions or anything else that you'd like to share with us?
There's just an overall idea that I've gathered kind of when we talked about our living, but like the big thing that I'm working on that maybe other people who are financially savvy around the same age, and you guys probably went through this stage too, is like finding a balance between being someone that's super frugal, but then getting to enjoy it in a fiscally responsible way. Because many people will hear my story and say, this guy is a tightwad. He doesn't do anything fun. He hates life, sits in his house and looks at his budgeting spreadsheet 8 hours a day. And while some of those things may be moderately true, I'd like to tell folks that you can have the lavish life, the traveling, and still be financially responsible if you're willing to do it in a different way, the same way that we talked about college. So I'm a guy that lives cheaply, but travels a lot, but I do that in a way where it's really cheap. So I'll go to the Smoky Mountains and have a good weekend, but I'll sleep in the back of my car at the Buc-ee's instead of renting a hotel room, and eat at McDonald's while I'm there to have the same experience. So just an overall idea. I'd like people to realize that just because you're financially successful doesn't mean you have to hate life. You just might do it in a different way than the average population.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's so much truth to it. And you're absolutely correct. David's getting there. I think he was behind me and in enjoying life, I guess, a little bit, right? Because I mean, you didn't start traveling until after my wife and I had traveled a little bit more.
So I traveled a lot as a kid.
Well, yeah, I say.
But we only took the one vacation the first 20 or so years of marriage.
Yep.
And then I tried to die.
Yep.
And now I travel more.
And I think that's what made you start. Like, you quickly just jumped in.
Yeah, I was like, fuck this. We're gonna start doing shit, because when you're that close to death, you're like, all right, I might as well do some shit here just in case I decide to drop dead.
Yeah.
So we take a vacation or two a year now. I mean, we're going out of town beginning of next month, and then again in the beginning of September.
Yeah.
Because if I'm dead, I can't take any of this shit with me.
I don't know. I think a lot of mine, I'll be honest, like, came a lot from my wife. There becomes a time where she's had enough of hot dogs and ramen noodles, or she probably bitched, and I just didn't pay attention. And this is a man thing to say. I don't know, like, she wanted to, for the 5 years type of a thing, and I kept saying no, and and then it's like, hey, real fucking conversation. Look, guy, you're worth some money. We're gonna go do this. And then, to be honest, like, we looked at an all-inclusive, figured that out. and I go on to cheapcaribbean.com. Hopefully they sponsor us. Say, and I picked. I don't even know how we go to the first out of the country thing was like Dominican Republic. I probably picked all the different locations, figured out what the cheapest fucking thing was, right? Including my flight, and was like, hey, all right, reviews. This isn't horrible. It's fine. We didn't stay at the 3,000. I told you it was $500 a person with flights included for 7 days or whatever. Great. $1,000, you win, you got it. And so, then I go on that vacation, have a good time, and it kind of jump starts. All right, hey, I should probably do this a little bit more. And then, of course, my life, I get older and I have a daughter, and I don't want her to, she eats hot dogs, but she doesn't eat them because we have to, or choice. We do it because we have a pool and it's just easy for me to grill, right? And there's a difference, I guess, when you have that option, back then I get, now it's like, hey, if we want hot dogs, or if I'm super drunk and somebody's sober enough, they can go get pizza and I'll just still pay for it. But it's that. So you're right. With age comes, and there's going to be somebody or something that will hit you, right? For David, it happened to be health wise. For me, it was more, I want to stay married wise. And, and yours kind of started out as I want to be married wise.
Yeah.
And it took me a little bit of convincing of like, dude, hey, you got to I'm not going out of the country. Fine. Like, dude, just figure something out. Fucking go on a, I remember fighting with David for it, saying, hey, it changed my marriage in a sense of saving things.
Oh yeah. She was getting really sick of the fact that I wouldn't do shit.
Right. And
because I'm trying to make sure everything's paid off.
Yeah.
I'm making sure my mother has enough money. My daughter has enough money. We have enough money.
Yep. You're trying to be what, you think a man should be. And
Yeah.
David, like I'm still struggling with some things, and the question was asked to me the other day, when is enough money enough? And I gave the answer. The answer is never, right? There's never enough. Like, why? Because I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. I want to do everything in my power to guarantee that this is what it is. Like, because I can't predict, inflation going up to 100,000. It doesn't, to me, I want to make sure that I'm doing everything in my power.
We're all trying to build generational wealth.
Yeah.
Not just get through tomorrow.
Get through it, right? I always tell everybody, hey, if you die at 0, you've done your job, right? I mean, that's literally what you're supposed. But we all want better for the next generation. We all want for something. And so, I know it's a very long story and things like that. You're very smart. You're very smart. You're a lot like me. You just, granted, way skinnier, take care of yourself a hell of a lot more. You're better looking. I'm dumb, you're smart. But no, like really, man, like there will be something in your life that happens that does it. And honestly, right now I'm jealous because you're sitting here going, hey, yeah, I go to the Grand Canyon or whatever it is, and I sleep in my van, Smoky Mountains. Like I have a buddy that just drove out west, and his kid is 20. Yeah, soon to be 21. He's got a wife of, gosh, it's been a lot of years, 20 something years. And he took his minivan, drove out there and stayed at the park, man, stayed in his van. And he showing me his bed built in the back, and he's doing it, right? Hey, I don't need to stay in a hotel. Like I can do it this way. And he's enjoying it. And yeah, packing some sandwiches, Walmart will let you park for the night type of a thing. There's always something, as you said, Buc-ee's. And, everybody thinks that everybody thinks that vacation has to look like that one time that you get to go away. Right. I save up all year for this one dream big fucking thing. No, but like I have people, my friends will tell me all the time, Nick, you travel more than anybody I know. And I don't ever notice it, but like I always post my stuff on social media, and it's like, last weekend we drove 5 hours up north to watch a barge come in for 45 minutes and get lowered in the locks, and then go to the hotel and drive 5 hours home. Like I did 45 minutes. I spent, 14 hours of my life for 45 minutes, but like that type of thing. I do this constantly. Hey, let's go to the east side of the state. Let's go to Indiana. Let's go to Ohio. Let's go to anywhere. If I can drive there, I'm going to go do it. And I have stepped up my my hotel game a little bit. Obviously, you'll get to I think that's more again my wife, but I'm not gonna lie. We stayed at a Super 8 up in the UP. So it was cheap. I don't know, 60, $80 a night. I don't know, 80. Let's go with that. But that has free breakfast. It has a pool for the kid. It has all, and it has beds, right? That's all I care about.
That's all you need.
To me, I just need a place to lay my head. And now if you're giving me the extras, I'm happy, right? And the Super 8, I love them because they always have like biscuits and gravy. They have waffles. They have like they're a full breakfast, right? This isn't just like, here's some juice and a donut. It's so try to stay at, but if we're going out, if we meet our friends at places, there's a huge chance that they're going to stay at a Hilton or a DoubleTree, right? Or whatever
Yeah.
it might be, like a Marriott, right? And this is $140 a night, and it pisses me the fuck off, right? Because I'm like, guys, we could all save 50% by going right here, but I've learned to just shut my mouth and eat the damn cost. Just whatever. That's what you guys want. That's what we're doing, and so yeah, a very very long-winded answer of you'll learn, it'll happen. You can't force it. You can. The best thing is you're starting to realize that people are calling you cheap and you're doing things, and you have the choice. If you feel you want to do something about it, you can. If not, just make sure you love yourself and what you're doing, right? For the longest time, dude, I didn't had no I was eating, right? Again, hot dogs and ramen, whatever. I was eating. I didn't care. I had a place to lay my head. You'll find that there's stupid things that you'll buy that just make you excited. I bought a headboard and a footboard for my bed probably 7 years into marriage. Okay. Otherwise we had just the metal frame. And next thing I know, I'm like, fuck, I'm a real adult now. I'm like your age, 26, 28, who knows what it is. And I'm like, yeah, I have a real bed. Like it's got both pieces. So
I don't need either pieces. Like I got rid of my headboard because I'm like, this is stupid.
yeah, let's say yeah, it's whatever makes people happy.
Yeah.
But yeah, oh gosh, trust me, I was frugal, man, known as the cheap guy, right? Like I don't know how Aldi's is nationwide,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah. Favorite
Right.
store. It's great.
Dude, like I'd buy frozen burgers, for $6 for the 20 count pack or whatever, and people are like, oh, you can get them at Meijer, and yeah, Meijer's like 50, yeah, they're so much better. And I was like, I'm never gonna remember this burger 20 years ago and go, that frozen Meijer burger versus that frozen fucking Aldi burger, those were best. And it's like,
Yeah.
that type of thing, man. I'll be cheap on certain things.
It's like the realization of what spending actually makes a significant difference in the value that you're getting from that. So it's like you're not going to remember that you stayed in a Motel 8 versus a DoubleTree when you go to the Grand Canyon with your family. You're going to remember that you went to the Grand Canyon.
That's it, bud.
And it's like, okay, perfect. So, and the best part is because you saved how much ever, like your Mexico trip.
Yeah.
$1,000 for what could have been a $5,000 trip. You can go 4 more times and still be better off than most.
Yep. And that's how I looked at it. And, when I was working, I talked to these guys and they'd go to the same spots that I was at. Right. And we were in Mexico and we both went to Puerto Vallarta. Mine cost me, let's say $1,300 for the two of us, including our flights. And they're like, yeah, we're spending $3,500 per couple or something, or maybe it was like 7,000 per couple. And I was like, they're like, yeah, but we get Patron and high-end alcohols. And I was like, I still get Modelo's, and if I really want Patron that bad, it's $100, so I could buy about 50 of them, right? Like, and still be cheaper than you. Yeah. So again, as you said, it's not the fact that I stayed in a high class place in Mexico. It's that I went to Mexico and seen the view. And granted, the guy who loves to drink, I don't need to be blackout drunk. I love Mexico. That perfect buzz
Mhm.
is how I want to be in Mexico, right? Like, because it's so beautiful there. Like, so beautiful. Man, keep traveling. Do you work from home?
Yeah, that's what allows me to, like, I just got back from Colorado and I've been there 2 weekends in a row. Got on a $98 Frontier flight with a laptop, work there for a day or two. And same thing with my job. Work gets done. They love it. And I figured out I can work that way and be effective. So it's one of the perks of the job.
Yeah. So I'll give you, since you get to travel and do things, if you don't want to buy a house, go buy a van and build that bad boy out. Now you can tell everybody how you built out your van and just travel all around the US.
Yep. I've thought about it. It's been a thought and looked into, but haven't.
But
Hard to
we're
get a
gonna-
wife though when you live in a van. Like I'm not van down by the river. Like how can I? Like,
My name's Matt Foley. It's until you show her your bank account, right? I mean, say,
yeah.
you know,
That's a pretty good lead.
that's why I just whip it out. Yeah, we can go buy a house anytime. Until then, I like this. So, no, I wish you the best of luck, man. When you find out if you're getting that sponsorship for your vehicle, you're gonna go buy a van because now you're gonna wrap your van, and now you're getting paid to live in your van. So,
Yeah, no, that'll be iteration 2 if if it happens.
Right.
So we'll see, but it'll be a fun adventure either way.
anything else, David?
Yeah, you've been asking people a final question every time we talk to them. What is it? A piece of advice?
What's your greatest piece of advice you can give anybody at this time? It can be financial, it can be life, it can be anything you want.
Yeah, I talk about a lot about preparing for emergencies by saving, but I mean, I've witnessed it on this podcast with you guys, but what I hope people realize is friends are the true emergency fund for life. Your money will only get you so far. So in the pursuit of that, make sure you continue to nurture those relationships, because when it hits the fan, it's not going to be your bank account that you look for to call at 3 a.m. It's going to be the buddy that stuck with you through it all. So don't forget about that in your pursuit of wealth.
That's awesome. Man.
That's a great
Say,
great end there.
yeah, Jesus, 26-year-old teaching us shit.
Nope.
Dude, you're well into your way to. My challenge for you, just because I want to now. I never challenge people. I never do anything. But you seem like the kind of guy who can do this. You just got to raise 6 figures. Currently at $250,000. Compounding interest. Within that, I'd like to see you at $600,000 by the age of 30 for a complete net worth. Not a doubt in my mind. I mean, you're going to be, if you maintain and don't do anything crazy, by the time you're 65, do you have an idea of roughly what you're thinking? I'm thinking, if you ask me, you're probably right around the 5 to 6 million range.
Yeah, it depends on the rate of return you use. Like conservatively, if I contribute nothing after, like if I stop today, I think I'm still ending around 1.6 million, and that's like a 6% annual rate. If I keep going at the rate I'm at, I save around 39% of my income now, but let's say $2,000 a month, I'll end somewhere just below the 8-figure mark, depending on rate of return again. Okay. So it'll be fine. Like I said, I grew up with a mom that's a teacher, so I could give a rip what house I'm in, what I drive. It's more just like, I care about time and being able to support people and things that I'm passionate about, which I mean, I'm going to have more fun with my money doing that than anything else.
Oh yeah, man. And it goes back to it. You're going to learn, right? You say, hey, if I keep going, it'll be this, but at 65, when you're forced to take your retirement or whatever the heck the age is now that they make you, and honestly, hopefully by 59 and a half, you're like, I want to take it. Let's just go.
Yeah.
Just take it and go fucking balls to the wall and have a great time. And hopefully, if you don't have kids or anything by the end of the time, I hope you pass away with $6 to your name. So donate that out to something cool. So As always, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family. We appreciate you joining us, and I love this interview. This was a very fun one for me.
David, don't go anywhere. We're going to talk off air, but I am going to ask one more question that Nick
Yeah.
forgot to ask. We're going to want to have you back on at some point. Are you good with that?
Yeah, sure.
Fantastic. We love hearing that. Thanks everyone for joining us. If you're live with us, this will be up next week. And if you have show ideas, let us know. Next week's going to be interesting. We're doing Drink and Draw. So that'll be really interesting. Couple independent artists. So thanks for joining, and we'll talk to everybody soon.
You've dialed in.
To Box and Brews, you might hear something
You can use.
like tips on your cash or tips on the suds.
You're gonna want to
The
use.
smarts of these
Because
stuff.
they know the
And
brews.
they know the box, and they know they can't help the stubborn fucks.
So listen up, because shit's not funny.
Save yourself some
Beer money. Bucks.
and brews.
Bucks and
Bucks.
brews.
And brews.
Brews.
Bucks and brews.